Live. Okay, this time we might be live. Of which so we are. Okay, of which so you can see the pre-live conversations of which we had if you join the Discord. Hey, what a way to get to that. What a perfect segue.
Never mind joining the Discord. How about you subscribe and join the YouTube membership button that says join and become a member and watch like 50,000 videos and whatever other perks will do for you. The more people that join, the more perks you'll get.
Yeah. Oh, that's the oh my god.
What? What happened?
I posted the stream key to chat.
Hey, I guys, you want to take over your stream?
Well, I'm gonna have to edit that afterwards. Okay, well, let me remember that.
What else do we need them to do? Like the stream, subscribe. What else do we need people to do? How many subscribers do we have right now?
Is it 960 something still, or is it more?
Okay, well, every single person watching this that isn't subscribed, just subscribe to me. Just hit one.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop beating around the bush. Just do it.
There you
I don't even care if you watch it. You never get.
I'm gonna have to go back and see how that just did. Oh no, okay, yeah, no. I guess it's just broke. It just doesn't copy the Discord invite. So I guess I did just do it right. What the heck? Did it work this time?
That's weird.
Yep. Okay. Well, there we go. All right. Well, don't hack us. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you this. If you want to hack us, you better at least become a member and subscribe. And then we'll give you permission to hack streams.
If you hack stream, at least make it Naruto.
Yeah, and leave a super chat.
Yeah,
don't hack us for free.
Only super chatters are allowed to hack us.
Yeah. Kabuto.
Kabuto can hack us any day she wants.
All right, Max, puppy, can you come in, buddy? I'm streaming. You want to come in? Stop eating leaves or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, well, that didn't work. Well, anyway, first topic.
You tried. Okay, so Kamui, in case you don't know, I titled this stream Understanding Naruto's Afterlife. And so Kamui, when it comes to, I think we've discussed this before, but just in case we haven't, do Zetsus have souls? We know the Divine Tree kills people before Zetsufication and reviving them is Zetsu Cutscenes. So Kamui! So for those who haven't seen yesterday's stream, this is serving as like a part 2 stream. I wanted to do this, and then we'll do a couple rewrites, and that'll be the stream. Okay, so Kamui, continuing on from where we left off.
Yeah. Okay.
So, oh, I closed that, and now I lost my spot. Okay, right here. So, and we know in Boruto that clones have souls, seemingly somehow, I don't know how. Souls are formed or manifested or made in Naruto, but do Zetsu have souls? Yes. There you go. We also zoom in. There we go. So, for record, I did do this purely on voice to text at work. And so...
No, you typed this out. This was all your typing.
Okay, I don't know what the joke is there, but okay. if you say so.
Well, you definitely wrote Edo 10 say. That's just what you thought the jutsu was called.
Well, definitely how it's pronounced.
I know, I'm actually pretty impressed.
Okay, but yeah. So, and we know in Boruto that clones have souls, seemingly somehow. I don't know how souls are formed or manifested or made in Naruto, but do Zetsus have souls. So we talked about that all yesterday. The whole Boruto soul thing is a consciousness linked. Anyways, if not then, and I mean this as literally as possible, and you're going to laugh, but it's not a joke. And I'm laughing as I'm saying this out loud 3 months ago when I wrote this on February 22nd at 3:25 p.m. But does Gato have a soul? Seriously. So Kamui, seriously, I'm being serious. Does Gato have a soul?
Why are you assuming he doesn't? Or what leads you to believe he might not?
Well, let's keep reading and find out, because I don't remember. So, based on how Edo Tensei works, it's funny how it got it correct here, but not down here, but whatever. Based on how Edo Tensei works, and the memory or recollection in Edo Tensei has of the time they were dead, with it being different depending on the person, seemingly based on whatever their afterlife experience was, it makes me wonder. You can tell when I use voice to text, I go on the most longest rambling sentences ever. Just the most ongoing possible.
I mean, I don't see how any of that elaboration of what's highlighted addresses why Gato might not have a soul.
I don't remember, that's the problem. I'm sure I had a reason at the time.
Because he's an asshole.
I mean, maybe he doesn't, but let's keep reading. So likewise, when Obito died, we know that couldn't have possibly been just a metaphor or symbolic hallucination or whatever, and it had to be real from Obito's perspective, because Obito teleported out of Kamui after dying. We saw him literally die. He didn't teleport out of Kamui, but he used Kamui to teleport out of the seemingly after dying. We saw him literally die. He was literally dead and gave his chakra to Kakashi. I love my voice to text, the way I write my sentences. For the record, the reason that they are so long sentences is not only because they're stringing together ideas as I'm thinking of them and saying them out loud, but also the fact that you have to say period and comma for the period and comma to actually apply. It doesn't just automatically do it. So that just that just naturally means a sentence are going to be longer for the times that I just don't say it. But anyways, so the question is, if that was literally the actual Pure Lands and there was nobody else around, was that Rent real? I guess really real is what it is.
Rin, yeah.
Was that Rin real? Yes, you're completely right.
Yeah, which is what we discussed the other day.
Exactly. This reinforces the idea that Naruto showed Obito that monster Rin. Thoughts on that?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because hypothetically, if that Rin's fake and that's Obito's envisionment of Rin, it could just be Obito envisioning Rin disproving of him or approving, whatever. Like, Obito can just imagine whatever. Like,
well, all else aside, I'm sure that you and I would agree that was definitely not the real Rin.
yeah.
So, at the very least, Obito was seeing the fake Rin there, but he was acting as if it was the real Rin. That's the thing that really kind of matters here. Anyways, also further proving me right, because it doesn't matter whether that Rin was actually Rin or Obito's Pure Land's imagination Rin, because that's what his infinite Tsukiyomi would have actually been. And that is interesting because
we already discussed. I feel like we've already discussed. It was hilarious. I feel like we're gonna have discussed everything that you wrote here coincidentally yesterday's stream without actually addressing this.
Well, it's funny because you're actually the one that brought up this idea, like begrudgingly so, because you agree that it would sort of prove me right if the Pure Land just is whatever their infinite Tsukiyomi would have been.
Well, it doesn't prove you right. It's just that could be true. But well, it depends on what you mean by prove you right. Prove you right about what?
Everything. Regardless.
No, because I addressed why that doesn't prove you right about it.
Regardless if it's real or not, Obito thought it was real, and that's what matters. He didn't even question it, and neither did the audience. Infinite Tsukiyomi. This is such a weird way to write Infinite Tsukiyomi, but I guess this is what the jutsu should have been spelled out to me. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. I count that. So then the other instance of this gets more into Afterlife, because I don't think this is Ninchu, but you could argue it might be. But this is just in general important to discuss for the Afterlife conversation in general. We do see someone actively dead and see their thoughts. Gaara, Kazekage rescue mission arc. Mm-hmm. We see him thinking, wow, he's dead. He's just like, the lonely child or whatever in the white void. I don't
To
know
be
what
fair,
that
though,
was. That limbo?
I don't think that's while he's dead. I think that's him as he's about to die, like as
I don't
close to
know.
death while still being alive as possible, and then conversely, barely reviving. Like,
Well, Chio's jutsu wasn't to revive someone on the verge of death who's actually still alive.
But again, you see Gaara's thoughts, and then like 30 chapters and episodes of nothing. He's probably just blank screen at that point, doing whatever.
Okay.
I don't think he's still in that white realm,
So
thinking
then-
about his hand.
Okay, because we obviously see Gaara's thoughts right before he wakes back up. Are you saying he was alive when we see his thoughts again after Chio's jutsu? I have to go back and double check when the sequence of things is.
I think because it's implied that like he stopped seeing stuff, and then he's like, it's like he closed his eyes and then reopened them. He's like, oh, it's my hand again. Like he re-saw his hand. Like I feel like
okay.
I don't know. I think it's like the white background's like his eyes open, even though I know they're literally closed in the real world, but like in his mind, eyes open, and then it goes eyes closed while he's dead for like 30 episodes, and then reopens his eyes. That's while Granny Chio's like jutsu's in it happening.
Okay. In that case,
That's what I think, anyway.
So you do agree Gaara was dead the moment he fell down to the ground after Shukaku was extracted? Like when Datara is sitting on him, he's dead.
Oh yeah, like while Datara is sitting on him, yeah.
Okay. Because we know that Naruto lived for like just a brief moment because he's Uzumaki. Kushina lived because she's real Uzumaki. But Gaara obviously isn't, unless you want to go with that one theory.
Yeah, that's a good way to discredit NC Hammer's theory right there.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Gaara did not last long.
I will say that Afterlife stuff with Gaara, if you don't want to say it's Afterlife, that was, in my opinion, some of the most impactful things from that entire arc. That made the whole arc good. Some of the best stuff from the arc.
I mean, that's good, yeah.
I loved it. So good, especially in the anime. I don't know what they do in the manga, but oh my gosh, that anime made that so impactful. So good, bro. I can't believe it. Ugh. Yeah. Okay, anyways, so getting back to this. So, okay. I don't think this was ninju, but I could see you could arguing it being ninju to the point that I'm not gonna like stand my ground on this. Do you think there was a ninju moment at all between Gaara and Naruto when Chio did her jutsu and Naruto put his hand on Gaara's shoulder and he's like looking over and he's still like in his like death thoughts of the white void seeing Naruto's hand there?
I'm gonna say no because it seemed one way.
Okay.
I don't think Naruto saw him in there. I think he just saw Naruto. So I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Well.
But that said, you could argue it is because Naruto's hand touching him might have somehow added chakra into the mix in a weird way to make a ninju thing. So like Gaara was experiencing ninju while Naruto wasn't. You could argue that.
Yeah. So, going back to the Afterlife.
Right. I'm much more interested in the rewrite.
So we'll just blitz through it like we were saying last night. So the point of bringing up Rin is to say that if this is the actual Rin, then the knowledge she has is interesting because she's seemingly been watching all along. Same for Gaara's mom, who did seemingly more than that by literally interacting with the environment. This is important for the can omnipotence affect souls in the Pure Lands if they go to, or if they come out of it already in it, or whatever argument, if you remember we talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is that the explanation Momoshiki gives, and the fact that we see it across dimensions, makes it seem like it can, unless there's specifically something about the barrier to the Pure Lands to where it just doesn't affect them. Like, it just doesn't reach there. Otherwise, it should work, because they have chakra there, seemingly.
Yeah, because, like, the problem is, if Rin's watching the whole time, why? Unless you want to say Limbo, in which case, was Sakamo watching the whole time? Because apparently all the other Edo Tensei
he needed
weren't.
Kakashi to tell him his tale, so I guess he wasn't watching. He's busy watching the campfire. So.
True. Yeah, so it's all the other Afterlife people's excuses. They weren't watching. Unless it just wasn't Rin. I don't know. Like, if Rin was Edo Tensei, would she know who the masked man was? Just hypothetically. Anyways, Rin was saying, let's go, and Obito was saying, not yet. He still had something to do, and Rin just immediately knew what it was, by the way, which is struck by, wait, what? Whatever text-to-speech was here. Seemingly, I mean, if you want to go back, check, but...
I'll go look.
If she's her own entity and not Obito's Pure Land, then that would, like, sort of make sense. But I think she remembers.
Let's see. Well, remembers or new, because it's not a matter of remembering in this case.
Remember what?
She can't remember what Obito needs to do.
No, not remember. It's new. Did I say remember? I meant new.
Yeah, you said remember, but it's like...
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure Rin just knew what Obito meant.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Rin didn't...
Well, okay.
Rin could have just
assumed... This is the manga version, at least. Rin, do you mind waiting just a little longer? Obito? Question mark. Only a little bit. Before we move on, I'd like to make one more detour along the way. And she's like sighing, who do you want to save this time? And he says, Kakashi. And she has an exclamation part like, oh, like surprised. So I don't think she knew.
So
no, in fact, she even says, despite all that's happened, you two are still close, huh?
Okay, so she doesn't know, at least in the manga. I don't know about the anime, then that's interesting.
Yeah. This is hilarious. Oh my god. We're like Oral and Water, she's laughing. She's like, you can go just like that? He's like, yeah. Chakra is an energy that connects two worlds. I'm gonna go see Kakashi. So she didn't even know that he could just do that, first of all.
Okay, chakra is not an energy that connects two worlds, first of all.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. Like, what is he talking? I'm making this an intro topic. I'm taking a screenshot right now.
Okay. Yeah, so the next thing, it's very clear that Rin just understands that Obito can do something. Like Obito's like, I'm gonna go take a detour, and Rin's like, oh, who are you gonna save this time? Not, what do you mean a detour? Where? How? What do you mean?
Well, especially considering that she doesn't know that he could just go just like that. So
she clearly indicates that. It's weird.
This is hilarious. I look at the viz. Besides, it's kind of annoying seeing him all stiff and useless. His name made me Scarecrow, but that doesn't mean he should be acting like one. That's hilarious.
So stupid. Yeah. Anyways, so Rin does want to go somewhere, and Obito's like, no, not yet. So my question is, where were they going? Was it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The Pure Lands?
The Pure Lands in general, or just a different part of the Pure Lands?
Why would they do that? Go to some other part of the Pure Lands.
Wherever. See, the problem is they don't have any other friends there. Like, Midato's not there yet, and Kagashi's not there.
So I completely agree. I was on the same page when I wrote this, so I say to some other part of the Pure Lands, or is this some free Pure Land, like an in-between limbo, purgatory type of area space, and how long do people spend in here?
I'm gonna say no, unless there's like a Japanese mythology type thing to where there's all these different stages. But if I had to guess,
if anything, that confirms
Limbo.
Yeah.
But
no, I love the idea. It is a pre-Pure Land.
Yeah. I mean, if there is a thing like that in any Asian mythology, then by all means, we'll go with it. But
I'm pretty sure there is, because I don't know about Asian mythology, but I'm pretty sure this is like part of the reason for burials. Like there's like a 72-hour, 24-hour period. That's like people also put like bells on the grave. To be fair, that's for if people are actually alive. But like I think the whole thing with like grave stones, grave sites, something or the other is having to do with something like this, so they can be at rest for their soul to move on after it's already moved on. It's something like that. I think I remember vaguely something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways. So also, like, hypothetically, could Rin and Obito have stayed in that area if they wanted to? They just Obito's like, nah, I don't want to go yet. Rin's like, oh, who do you want to go save? Obito's like, nobody. I like it here.
So they can be alone. See, the problem is it makes it okay. So it's kind of like one of two things you could argue. So let's use Sakumo. We know that Sakumo had like regrets and like it seems like he has to talk to Kakashi before he's allowed to finally move on. It's almost like it's either he just physically can't move on until these things are taken care of, or he, in his own mind, is like, I don't allow myself to move on until I've resolved things with Kakashi.
Ooh,
it's one or the other.
okay.
It kind of depends, because if it's the latter, then yeah, Obito could just choose. But if it's the former, it would be like, you don't get a choice, Obito. Like, you gotta go.
In which case, I wonder if Obito would have been just like, yeah, Rin, let's go. And then Rin just like transparentizes herself to the next land. And then Obito just can't go. And then Rin, I don't think Rin would be able to go back to this limbo where Obito is. I think once you're in the Pure Lands, you're stuck there.
If she moved on, yeah, like if her regrets were taken care of or whatever, I think it's just like, all right, she moves on. But if Obito's not, it's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah. I don't think she could go back hypothetically, even if she wanted to. Like she turns around, Obito's not there.
Nobody else does it. It's not like Kakashi's mom's going to join Sakumo. Like
exactly. So yeah, it's like how long can people spend here, or does it depend on the type of person? If they're going to heaven or the blank space, like in Death Note, or just like if they cease to exist or reincarnate, or however this works with hell in Naruto. Like, is it
another
different?
thing I was thinking is, I don't think Obito could. Another reason why I don't think she could go back is it seems like Obito needed to do the Kamui nonsense now before he got to the Pure Land.
I agree.
But then again, why is he calling it two worlds? Is Limbo another? I don't know. But anyway, I mean, I think the answer to your question is how long do they spend there? It does depend on the person. I think it just depends on like their regrets and shit. And I'm just guessing it's just like. The only problem, though, is I feel like this only applies to people who would be going to heaven or maybe blank space. I don't think this would apply to hell people. I think hell people, you just go to hell. I don't think they give you it. Because if you resolve all your conflict, why are you going to hell anymore? You resolved it. Like,
okay, then hypothetically, let's just say that Obito just... as Naruto and the rest of the world say, Obito can't be redeemed even if he's forgiven. So he is going to hell just when he dies, even though he's been redemption arced or whatever. Could he still go to this limbo with Rin, and before Rin goes to heaven and he goes to hell, could he Kamui back to the real world to help out Kakashi before going to hell?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
because it feels like the point of hell would be that like you're getting punished, but like it's like you could give them a chance to like redeem themselves beforehand. But if they do redeem themselves, why are they still going to hell? Like,
and I still don't know where Zabuza went.
He went to the blank space. He went to the Death Note.
Exactly. He went to Mu.
Yeah.
Okay. So beyond that, they have their kid bodies, which isn't all that bad. For Rin, that's when she died, so you could just say you stop aging, which is one explanation, but that's how Obito remembers her, and that was his last time he saw her, and what he saw in the weird Naruto corrupted mind space Ninshu, Min's shoe, that's hilarious, Min's shoe was the voice to speech is Ninshu, dream thing, which leads credence to it being Obito's consciousness theory. Because it's not adult Rin, unless you're going to say that you stop aging. But then the fact that Rin, or that Obito is a kid as well, that's clearly, seemingly his innocence thing.
Yeah, but it's like, so this doesn't address anything in universe, but narratively, kid Obito's like representative of the real Obito, so adult Obito's not being the true Obito, blah blah blah. So like him going back to the kid forms, like him accepting himself, it's like all his regrets, everything everything from adult Obito's gone. It's like the pure true Obito, blah blah blah. That's Kid Obito. That's why it's Kid Obito. That just doesn't make any sense in the real world. That you can't use that explanation in universe, obviously. So it's like, I don't know, just what he wants to be.
I feel like something that would be cool, even if you want to argue it goes against the narrative.
It could be like what you see yourself as.
I think if they were going to do
hypothetically,
Kid Obito, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, hypothetically, if Obito just saw himself as like a Giga Chat Jack Buff dude, like the right Kage, he might just be that because that's how he views himself. Like,
yeah, but again, it depends on whether or not that just is Rin or if that's his perception of Rin, because both would make sense. But then the fact that Obito is a kid
both
as well
makes sense.
Both but also the fact that Kakashi is a kid. Are you going to argue that is also
no? Kakashi Obito thinks. Well, first of all, that's like just is Ninshu for one thing.
Yeah.
But second, they go back and forth. Like they start off adults and then they become kids.
True. But also Naruto and Sasuke never are kids, even though they have the flashback to when they were kids in Ninshu.
I think that's because in their case, they don't like. Kakashi's kind of a weird one there, but I think Kakashi's case, it's more just mirroring Obito. But in Obito's case, it's like he specifically looks back at Kid Obito as like good Obito, the old me. That's what I want. Blah blah blah. Naruto and Sasuke, I think Naruto just he's always Naruto. They're not looking back at the younger. They're not doing the same thing. If that makes sense. So I think that's why.
It's like they built upon that foundation.
Things, really, but.
Yeah, I think it's like they built upon that foundation, whereas Obito stagnated. He never grew from that.
All he did was go back to Kid Obito, essentially. Obviously, he doesn't actually... He's not over here freaking, wiping old people's poop or whatever at the end of the war, but... Yeah. You get the point.
Anyway, so beyond even that... Rin is explained through just not aging when you die. I don't know what I meant here, but Rin is explained through just not aging when you die. I don't know. But Obito is weirder, unless you want to say that's the real Obito, or the childlike innocence of purity of souls for the Pure Lands converts everyone to kids, and everyone there is a kid, or if they never lost their innocence and they're an adult, but if they ever did, then they're a kid. But we... see other souls in Naruto before returning to the Pure Lands, just as they are, basically. Notably Minato without his arms. Did Minato regrow his arms in the Pure Lands or convert to a child in the Pure Land? And it's only when you are in the Pure Lands do you convert, and before then, your soul just is what it is.
So I think it would do it in the Pure Lands is when it would happen, but
Obito and Rin weren't there yet, since they were going to go there. Unless you want to say that is it, and they were going to go to a different part of the Pure Lands.
Yeah, they definitely weren't on Earth at least, so maybe it's just once you leave Earth.
Okay. Well, but then again, regardless of seeing Kakashi, Obito, when he went back to Earth after dying, was still a kid. Even though he was an adult at that one part, if you're saying that, but sure, but Ninshu and whatever. But still, he is still a kid. At one point.
He got converted first, but I feel like it just kind of comes back to, like, their mental state of, like, things to where I think Minato just is... Minato, like, again, like, I think Obito is just such a specific example. I think 99% of people, it's just going to be when they die, however they look and stuff, that's just what's going to be there.
Okay.
Because that's just the version of themselves that they see themselves as. There's no weird kid adult thing going on. It just, that is an Obito specific situation. I think I think it pretty much only applies to him. It might apply to, like, a couple other people, maybe, but yeah. I think it really is just Obito. Like,
okay, I could imagine it may be applying to Gaara, since Gaara's infinite Tsukiyomi was when he was a kid.
Gaara too.
And
Gaara was what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Even maybe like a Heroes and Orochimaru type of thing, but
yeah, since they're at least Heroes and sees Kid Orochimaru when he dies.
Yeah. And I could even see maybe a Hashirama Madara, specifically the rock throwing age.
Okay.
But again, it's just gonna be a very small subset of people. Like, I don't think that's gonna apply to Anko. I think when Anko dies, it's just gonna be fat Anko. Shino's gonna have his weird alien visor, whatever thing, and so on. But like,
well, if you remember,
I don't think Naruto and Sasuke, because they never do that shit. They seem to just build forward. They're not constantly thinking back. Like, for example, Hashirama is like thinking back to when he used to throw rocks with Madara. So I could see that potentially being a thing. But Naruto's, like, yes, they have memories of when they walked by the freaking dock that Sasuke was sitting on, but they're not constantly thinking back to that memory. Like, it's not like, oh, I wish we could go back to walking by you sitting on the dock, Sasuke.
Well, to be fair, it is like 50% of what they think of every time they have a ninja clash.
I know, that's the problem with what I'm saying, but like... I got no other explanation.
Well, I do have something here for you. Is at the end of the 5 Kage Summit, Naruto might have just been saying this, but he says that if Naruto and Sasuke kill one another, and if they both die, then Naruto won't be the Nine Tails Jinchuriki anymore, and Sasuke won't be cursed with the fate of the Uchiha, or whatever he says. So, hypothetically, do you think...
he won't be an Uchiha? He won't be.
Just objectively not true.
Yeah, I was like, Obito is still an Uchiha, that's for sure.
So, like, hypothetically, regardless if Naruto is an adult or kid in the Pure Lands, do you think if Naruto died at the end of Shippuden, 5 Kage Summit, around that time, wherever, do you think Naruto in the Pure Lands would have had the tattoo seal on his stomach? Like, because that's how he, like, perceives himself. Or do you think he would just not have it there because he's separating himself from the Nine Tails? Even though that just is what he's like normally as well. Like, would that be there regardless if the Nine Tails is actually sealed in him, or if that seal is actually a seal, or just like his perception of what his body looks like? Because he's never seen his real body without that seal outside of Boruto, which we're excluding for this.
Well, okay, addressing the last thing, he has seen his stomach without the seal.
Oh, actually, you're right. That's
at least
point.
In the anime, there's plenty of times
it's
where it
dumb,
just isn't
right.
there, and then it has to appear for whatever reason at the time.
I hate that. It's so dumb. But whatever.
Yeah, I agree. It should always be there. Especially because of the fact that Naruto's thinking of his stomach seal when Neji says, "You don't know what it's like to be branded with a mark that can never be wiped away." Well, it does go away. So I'm rewriting that right now. The seal's always there. It's a tattoo. But regardless of that, the problem is, on one hand, that's how he sees himself. It might just be there. On the other hand, based off that dialogue, he might see himself as having been freed of the Nine Tails, and so he might see the mark go away because of that mindset. So it kind of just depends.
Okay. So, another hypothetical. What if seals just persisted into the afterlife to the point to where Naruto can see himself however he wants, but in the afterlife, Naruto still has the Nine Tails inside of him? Do you think Naruto would see the seal on him in this hypothetical? Even though it just breaks the rules we know. You said definitely?
I would say yes, if that's the case, realistically. At the very least, the moment he realizes Kurama was there, the seal would just appear.
Sure. This is stupid. Okay. You seemingly would have chakra in the Pure Land since Obito... oh my god. Okay, this is hilarious. Whenever you see a comma followed by we, I say the word Kamui. And the most hilarious instance of this, I can find it for you right now.
Obito weed.
Exactly. So I said this just the other day to someone that I was debating in chat. You saw that as well.
Just type weed if it is weed.
It wasn't. It was we. But I guess it was. Okay, here, I'm just gonna...
just do from you first.
True, okay. From... Food... We.
Kamui.
The comma wasn't working. So... I think the second word was agree? Either way, it was like yesterday. Is today Friday? A Saturday? It's Saturday. Yeah. Today, okay, technically Sunday, but Friday.
Yeah.
So it was yesterday. I could just scroll up to it. Oh, you know what? I think it's because I'm searching it in the... No, I am searching in the normal chat. Okay, I'm just going to scroll up to it then. I don't know why it's
I'm going to look at what Space said in a second while you do that.
Yeah, go for it.
This is back to the KCM stuff, but...
Found it.
One way you can use the hatred sense thing is Naruto sensing some villains' lack of hatred, like Itachi, Nagato, and even Sasuke. Well, in what sense? Because like that kind of goes. If he's sensing hate, I guess if he just doesn't sense anything, but I guess that's the only way to do it.
I don't know.
Or he says, imagine Naruto trying to sense the 10 Tails' hatred and Naruto actually got scared from it. If you want to, I mean, Kurama says he doesn't have emotions, but that 10 Tails definitely has it Boruto. When he just gives Sage about the hatred sense, we did talk about that, but I like our other answer better.
Yeah, if anything, Naruto has hatred sensing emotions. He should have been freaking terrified of himself the moment he sensed Kurama.
He looks in the mirror, freaking out.
He needs to do the waterfall of truth all over again. Okay.
But, alright, where's your thing?
Yeah, so, specifically, here, which is hilarious with this. You want to read that out?
Okay. In other words, you need to let go of all your preconceived biases. I'm sure we would agree.
It works so well as it is, which is why I didn't change it. But I said in voice to text, Kamui would agree.
Like, you're just saying like confidently, like I'm sure you would agree with that. Like.
So hilarious how well it happened to work in this one instance.
Actually, I read this stuff in chat, so I didn't even realize that was supposed to be.
I noticed it. I intentionally left it because I think that's hilarious. I gotta show that Kamui at some point.
So it's supposed to be, I'm sure Kamui would agree.
Yeah. In reference to the preconceived biases.
Yeah.
So funny. I'm sure he didn't even get what I was even referencing either.
Oh no, he just doesn't read Boruto, right?
I have no idea.
He's not a diehard enough fan to like know that. See, that's the thing, Jonathan Oliver. You think we're haters, but I bet you don't even know what the preconceived biases is even from. But you're not that into the story. I bet you don't know what is the issue is.
Facts. Oh my god.
I bet you don't know who said, do you know about omnipotence? Some fan you are. You know, that's what we should do. We should do who said this to like whatever translate. Who said stupid? Who said Shinjitsu? And so on. Like, see who actually knows these besides us.
I'm down. Yeah, you gotta make that quiz.
We're the only people who know the answer to every single one.
We're gonna be. You already know. Oh my god. Okay, so where was this here? You assuming you would have chakra in the Pure Land since Obito, Kamui out of it, and we know the Truth Seeker orb stops chakra. So with the Soul region is from chakra. I don't know what I'm saying there. Oh, Soul region, as in like REGEN, not region, is from chakra rather than Pure Landification. Then it shouldn't convert back, at least. I'm surprised Pure Landification corrected as much so as it did to this word.
Pure Landification.
That's as close as it could have got without just completely butchering it.
So I'm a little bit confused on your True Seeker orb part, because I'm not sure what that even has to do with anything in the first place.
We know the True Seeker orb stops.
Like a random insert.
Well, that is voice to text. That's what I do. So with the Soul region is from chakra rather than Pure Landification, it shouldn't convert back at least. So
okay, real quick. Okay, I want you to just this whole sentence. I want you to put it as make it a quote because how ridiculous it is when you actually are just saying a bunch of nonsense.
I'm just gonna put this in chat here. And then slash what is it? Quote? What do I do? Slash
I think it's
or at.
I think you have
It's
to make it a quote.
At make it a quote. And then reply to it. Let me jump to present. Reply to it. Boom. Perfect. Okay, so you seemingly would have chakra in the Pure Land since Obito Kamui out of it, and we know the Truth Seeker Orb stops chakra, so with the soul region is from chakra rather than Pure Landification, then it shouldn't convert back at least. God.
Then it shouldn't convert back at least. It's just, like, especially out of context, it just doesn't make sense.
I'm crying. I actually have tears in my eyes.
Like, okay. This looks like something out of that Oliver room.
I'm sweating. Oh my god. Okay, so Kamui, you're gonna love to hate this. You're just gonna love this. Okay, so I'm gonna have you be the one to read the next sentence that I wrote down. Well, okay. If I say that, I mean text to speech, because I already pre-read it. I have no idea. So I'm just going to let you read it out loud. I'm going to close my eyes and try to hear whatever it sounds like you're saying.
Okay, so you want me to read it the way it just is written and not interpret it?
Yeah, I got to find where it is, though. Soul region. Okay. So it's going to be this paragraph.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. But what's extra weird is
yeah.
But what's extra weird is Obito breaking 2 coffee. I read the next part.
Oh I told you.
I know what it's trying to say, but what's extra weird is Obito bring into coffee to a mean shoe realm.
Oh, I got it.
Like the pure realm, where Kakashi was surprised, so he definitely didn't convert himself to a kid, and Obito wasn't surprised. So I think Obito's conscience just made Kakashi kid, like here, which makes me think more that it was just Obito making Ren, and Obito thought it was the real Red. And what was the Pure Land?
I'll make that a quote too.
What was the Pure Land there?
Oh god, I'm gonna need a shower after this. Yeah, so okay, that first part was the most ridiculous by far, obviously, but
yeah, and I know what it's trying to say.
Yeah, there we go. Can I do quotes too long? No, I guess it just makes the text smaller. Okay, that works. What's extra weird is Obito bring into Kamui to a Ninshu realm. Bring into.
I don't know the bring, but like being able to Kamui to a Ninshu realm, maybe being able to.
Okay, I guess. I don't know. Whatever I said. It was an echoey room, to be fair. Okay, that's the problem. It's hilarious. I don't even have thoughts on this. I just want to move on. We've already technically addressed it anyways. The idea there. When we see Kakashi die in the pain arc, he's an adult, and then goes to his weird dad purgatory, so maybe there is a pre-purgatory that everyone goes to, or maybe only those that go to the Pure Lands, or maybe Sokomo just called Kakashi to his location somehow. But anyways. So also that wasn't something that I wrote down, so you didn't have to ignore what I was writing down, because that was just off the top of my head. That whole
it was just in case. I was going to say, like,
that's fine. So just making. Anyways, it's also convenient that Rin would just forgive Obito after all the horrors and massacres this serial killer has committed over decades. And to be fair,
he just got lost on his way.
Yeah. Oh my god! Can we stop it? Okay. Yeah. To be fair, this could again go back to all burdens are washed away in death. Maybe Rin just can't see Obito's burdens anymore. They're just gone.
She just doesn't care. It's all gone.
Well, he died.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're dead now. So who cares?
Oh my god. Okay, well, that was all of my Afterlife nonsense. So we can get to rewrites now.
Okay.
That being said, I did want to start. Okay, so this is actually I wanted to start because I thought of things for yesterday's rewrite that I wanted to add.
All right. Anyway, we definitely milked that one out
for sure.
I have some.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I had some small ones. I had some that'd be longer too, but some of these are just gonna be random, to where like they're scattered all over the place. I'm just looking at some of these.
Okay,
so
well, tell me which
stupid
tab
but
so
funny idea.
Which tab is this in?
Yeah. Rewrites.
Okay.
So stupid but funny idea. Edo Kimimaro is about to kill Gaara, just like in the Sasuke retrieval arc again, but just before he kills Gaara, that's when the Edo Tensei is released by Itachi. So once again, Gaara still couldn't beat Kimimaro. It had to be saved by a log.
Absolutely. You already know I'm 100% down. I even reacted to it already, so...
Yeah.
This means we have to have a cool fight between Gaara and Kimimaro, though. That's not going to happen off screen.
Oh,
that
absolutely,
needs to be on screen.
You would have like a fight before. It's just like this is like the ending. Okay. Some of these are in reference to some things that I don't know. So, in light of the Kabuto idea in the work, could have one living Akatsuki member, including Kabuto or perhaps Sasuke, go to each battlefield. Obito goes to the first with the Geto statue. Black Zetsu can go to one. The original White Zetsu and or Spiral Zetsu can go to one. Kabuto or Sasuke can go to one. And in this rewrite, Kisame can still be alive and go to the third division, acting as one of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen, so just remove Fuguki. So Guy versus Kisame would happen here, and Kisame would have his sword in this rewrite. Because we're just going to change it to where Samehada's side would be is just Kisame controlling Samehada to put up an act with Zetsu. So Kisame takes his sword back somehow later on, and he just gets away from Turtle Island, and Guy versus Kisame happens during the war instead of the island in this case. So in this case, the idea would be that there's one living member on each battlefield.
Yeah, I'm down. Since it's already
which is a reference
thing,
to some Kabuto thing from
it's already a thing that there's like 100,000 White Zetsu, but then the real problem are the Edo Tensei scattered around the battlefield. In this case, it's going to be layered to where it's Zetsu, Edo Tensei, Akatsuki as like the big bad at each battlefield. It's like the final boss.
Yeah, and so obviously Black and White Zetsu would be like the Akatsuki members in this case. The question is which battlefield for which. So obviously Kisame's number 3, Division 3. Obito would be first division, just so that we don't have to change that. What do you want to do for each of these other ones?
You realize that I'm not the best with the numbers. You'll just have to say beach, desert.
Okay.
7 Ninja
Kakuzu, Darui, Kinkaku Beach is where Obito went in canon.
I know, I agree.
We can't change it, but we can also just leave it.
Yeah. So I agree there.
7 Ninja Swordsman is obviously third.
Yeah.
So Battlefield 2 is the Kiba one with Kurotsuchi and Kitsuchi, where they fight just Setsu.
Practically filler.
The 4th division is Gaara's with the Edo Kage. There's also the 5th company that kind of just goes all over the place, and then there's the commando unit where Deidara was, but I don't think we need to pay attention to that here.
So are we removing Black Zetsu fighting the feudal lords entirely?
It's you don't have to, so it kind of depends, because now that I'm thinking about it, there's only really 4 battlefields, because the 5th company is just all over the place anyway.
Yeah.
So it depends on whether you want to count the commando unit as a battlefield or not, because otherwise you could just combine White and Black Zetsu, or you could split them up so Black Zetsu does feudal lord nonsense or whatever.
There's a lot of forest fights as well that are like scattered throughout, as well as just open.
Yeah, those are all like 3rd company / commando unit fights that kind of just get split up.
Yeah. What would be really cool, I think Sasuke should go to the 7 Ninja Swordsmen one, not only to see Zabuza Haku again, but also Kakashi.
Okay, so in this case, he would just go to the same as Kisame.
But I also think wherever Sakura is could really work if Sasuke goes there and he like maybe saves Sakura fighting off whoever. Maybe
Sakura's just medical unit up until late.
This is ridiculous, but maybe Itachi, on his way to Kabuto, intercepts the medical ninja unit, and they're trying to stop Itachi because he's an enemy or whatever, but like Itachi has to go there or whatever. Like the point, it's almost the ninja's ignorance. They're trying to fight Itachi when they don't have to, and Itachi's not reasonably going to say that. So then Sasuke has to like come in to like save Sakura because Sasuke wants to fight Itachi here. There you go.
Yeah, but the problem is, if Itachi doesn't meet Naruto and Koto Matsukami, then they all lose.
Why wouldn't he? That's what I'm saying, is that it would be after that. He'd be going to Kabuto.
Oh, Itachi's not fighting them, just running away.
Well, he can't do that if they like get in his way.
Or just one shot knocks him out of the way. It's not a fight.
In this case, they're just gonna be in his way. Like, I think that's fine.
No, nobody at the medical corps can do it either.
But well, first of all, Sakura is very capable. But second of all, if there's like 100 of them in his way, then he's gonna be forced to stop running.
Probably just too fast if he just runs faster.
No, but I'm just gonna. You could. This is a Naruto thing
I don't
to
see
write
the point.
in
Okay,
anyways.
this is going outside the bounds of the idea.
You just like Itachi. This is something that Kishimoto would have wrote in. Because characters do this all the time. Be realistic.
Okay, sure, that's fine. I'll give you that. But I don't want random bozo medical ninja fighting Itachi. That's so stupid.
Okay, well, Sakura's there. You can throw more people there, too. And the point is that Itachi's
really
gonna win anyways.
Versus Itachi. I personally, I don't care for Sakura versus Itachi.
I think Sakura versus Itachi was already set up.
Why? Because of her Genjutsu stuff?
No, because of her meeting with Itachi at the beginning of Shippuden. And what she says to Itachi.
That's not setting up a fight. If that's the case, they set up a fight with Granny Chiyo and Itachi, and they set up a fight with Kakashi and Itachi, and Naruto and Itachi.
There's obvious, clear history between those characters in terms of important relationships of when it comes to Sasuke. In the same way with Naruto and Itachi. In Shippuden.
Yeah, but Naruto had more.
What, with Sasuke?
Well, with Sasuke and with Itachi.
Well, I don't care about Itachi. The point is about Sasuke. Because what they talk about there in Shippuden between Naruto and Itachi isn't about their meeting from part 1. It's about the fact that Naruto's a better brother to Sasuke than Itachi ever was. Sakura can have more words with Itachi, considering she had words like that at the beginning of Shippuden. I think Sakura should have had more scenes with Itachi in the war. I think that's more than fine. I think that's something we should have got. That's not random. Plus, Sakura is literally one of the 3 main characters. Come on.
It's not that I don't see what you're saying.
She ends up with Sasuke. Like, of all people to understand Sasuke, it should be Naruto and Sakura.
It's not that I don't get what you're saying.
Oh my god.
You're so gonna laugh at this. You're so gonna laugh at this. But I'm much more concerned with figuring out who Black Setsu's gonna fight. I don't know who's going up against a white Setsu.
Look, I'm just saying, we can move on, but I'm just saying, if that Naruto Itachi scene where Itachi gives Naruto Koto and Naruto's like, I'm a better brother than you ever, if that scene just wasn't in there, and I was recommending that scene right now, you'd be dismissing it in the exact same way. I think so.
Well, no, I mean, are we removing the Kodomatsu Crow stuff, or are we putting that to, like, what are we doing there, first of all?
Yeah, we just remove it all.
How does Itachi break Edo Tensei?
He could just have Koto activate by seeing Sasuke. It's whatever he did in his death could happen there. We planned it all along.
Okay.
Since he already implemented Amaterasu, and Minato implemented like 20 things inside of Naruto, you just have him implement the moment he sees his own Sharingan, then Goto or whatever.
See, the thing is, I mean, honestly, without the scene, it would just work. I mean, like, it wouldn't be bad, but
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, I prefer the scene being in there.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing is, I need to see what you're saying with Sakura and Itachi, because
maybe you just
have to think it through. Because off the top of the head, whatever we think of is going to sound cringy and stupid, and I'm going to say, no, I don't like it. So it's like, we have to actually think about it.
Okay, but you do remember what I'm talking about, though, right? Whenever Sakura is, like, speaking to Itachi.
No, I don't know what she says to him.
Okay, that might be why you're saying that, then. But
I'm sure she says some words, but I don't know what the hell she says.
I don't remember exactly what she says.
I have no clue what she says. I don't even know if she says anything directly to him or not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she definitely... Well, it's the 30% Itachi clone, but that's Itachi, so...
Yeah, I know that, but he has memories of that.
Anyway, if you want to look it up real quick, you can, but I feel like you want to talk about Zetsu. So.
Let me see what she says.
Okay.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I want to talk about Zetsu. Like,
it's meaningful.
Nobody else on this whole platform wants to talk about Zetsu, but we do.
Freaking die if it's anime only, but God.
I'm just gonna go to wherever.
I think it's towards the beginning of the confrontation.
Yeah. It's actually longer than I expected.
But yeah, I have no idea where exactly it's gonna be, but somewhere around there.
Okay, Itachi shows up. Okay,
Sakura says something about him being a terrible
He's
brother.
Itachi Uchiha. This guy, he caused Naruto and Sasuke so much pain.
Yeah. And Sakura said something at some point.
This is not going to be easy.
Better not be.
I get it.
Manga only. Better not be manga only. I will actually be mad. Like, unironically be mad.
Okay, let's just keep scrolling
if
until
it's
I see
manga
anything
only,
so far.
If it's
nothing of
only,
importance.
Then Ikimoto scrubbed it from the manga. He erased what Kishimoto wrote.
Yeah. Alright, now they're in the Genjutsu. So I'm assuming I can ignore whatever Genjutsu Sakura things might be said.
Well, I mean, if she says it there, then...
Well, why didn't you stop Sasuke? I believed you in the Genjutsu.
Why didn't you stop... Oh, no, it's to Itachi, not to Naruto.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Hey, pull yourself together to Naruto.
It'd be crazy if Sakura
said,
it's
anime
why
only,
whatever's...
Wow, she says wow as Naruto hits the Rasengan
on
him. Yeah, she doesn't say anything to him. So whatever it is you're thinking of has to be anime only.
And it's practically on the same level of what Naruto says to Itachi. I don't remember exactly what it was. Like you're a sick, wicked, evil.
I mean, now I kind of want to look for this. So let's see what episode this would be.
Oh, God. Okay, I'll look too. Goodness.
A faded with episode 13, maybe.
Oh, it's happened.
But do you think it's beginning of the fight or?
Yeah, it's towards the beginning, if I remember correctly. Anyways. Oh my God.
All right, so try episode 13 then.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do this until I find it. Okay, because a lot of things are popping up.
I know.
It might actually be 12, but maybe not. I don't know. So I'm just looking. We'll skip the intros. Obviously not going to be the Kisame portions.
I don't know what you're looking for, but it's looking for scenes where Sakura might speak.
seems pretty hard, she says, in terms of not
I
looking
did not
good.
see anything in episode 13 that I could find as I was skimming through.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna be. But it was pretty cool when she said it.
That's crazy. All this Guy versus Kisame stuff. Like,
I know.
where's the Itachi fight even happen?
Who exactly is this guy? Impressive guy, Jason. I don't really know. At the very least, I'm sure you believe she said it somewhere.
I mean, I don't like disbelieve it. I just trying to find. I think I'm going too far at this point. There's just like all fight stuff now. So let me try episode 12.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, I'm just backtracking because at this point I'm not getting it. It's like I've gone through the entire fight. Like I haven't seen it.
Wow, they had a flashback.
Who is that? Okay, that's the first thing she says.
They had a flashback to Tazuna during this in the anime. I forgot about that.
Yes.
The Manji formation.
I know. I was hyped as I was skimming through and saw that. That guy's Itachi.
Well, where is it?
Well, okay, let's try the beginning of episode 13 then. Because so far, all she said is that guy's Itachi.
That's definitely not what I was thinking of.
A Sharingan just like Sasuke's. He is the one who's tormenting Naruto and Sasuke. It's in her mind, just like the manga. Naruto's yelling at him.
Yeah, you finding it?
I hate to break it to you. You might have just been wrong. But it might be a video game thing or something, maybe. I don't know.
I'm looking up on Google.
I'm not seeing it in the anime here. Like, I've been looking. Everything she said is just what the manga had.
What does Sakura tell Itachi? Does Sakura know Itachi in the Naruto series? Sakura does not explicitly tell Itachi any specific piece of information, while Sakura does not. It's blah blah blah. Sakura knows true Itachi. Well, that's not for. A lot of people just ask if she knows the truth about Itachi. Oh, but she says something. This is dumb. Oh my god.
I like that post. Why does Itachi even know Sakura's full name?
I mean, they say there's a lot to unpack there. I hate to derail, but... Okay, well, let's... How do I check what's to unpack? Scroll down, I guess? Yes, it is in the manga, too. Everybody go say thank you to this amazing human. Okay, Stan Sakura Uchiha. I'm not saying Itachi's a Sasusaku stan, I'm also not saying he's not. What is this? Oh, this is
Probably
from the
Road to
movie.
Ninja.
Yeah. Maybe that's where I'm thinking of it. I doubt it. I mean, this unironically.
Maybe, honestly, like.
You have to find that weakness as fast as you can. Sakura. Oh my gosh. It's safe to assume that the mass.
That's just what he's talking about.
His fingers always move before he. I don't understand the connection between these two. Oh, they're just trying to analyze
it's just
the
discerning,
weakness?
yeah.
Okay. That's it?
Bro, at this point, it sounds like they're setting up an Itachi Sakura relationship more than anything.
That was not a lot to unpack.
It's definitely like a half joke, half serious. Like,
okay. Whatever.
well, anyway, it doesn't look like she has the moment you're referring to.
She does.
But you know what?
We just can't find her right
After
now.
all this effort, I'll just let you rewrite it and put it in there. It doesn't seem like there's anything.
You know what? Okay, at least give me this. It might just be in the dub.
Probably not, bro.
That's the version
I
that
doubt
I
the dub
watched.
changed. Oh, that'll be pretty hard to break his genjutsu to. Oh, I hate you. What you did to Naruto and Sasuke.
You never know. Would be the craziest thing they've changed.
Well, that's Sakura's voice actor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what Zetsu things did you want to discuss?
Oh man, I don't even remember anymore. The question was just what battlefield he should go to and why.
Yeah, I mean, did you want to start?
Well, there's also the question of Kabuto. Okay, so if Kabuto's going to a battlefield, which one do you think he should go to?
I feel like it's easier to think about the battlefields themselves. So, who do you think should have gone to the desert battlefield would have been best for there?
So here's the thing.
Madara's already there, so...
So I have an argument for Black Zetsu and Kabuto both going to that battlefield. So Black Zetsu, he's revived the Edo Kage, Shinobi history, and obviously Madara gets revived there, so putting those two together makes sense.
Yeah.
But similarly, Madara is there, so Kabuto being the and he's the one who revived Shinobi history, so...
Yeah. I mean, I think that Madara being there is already fine, if you want to say that. Technically, okay, you know what? We could just have Kabuto go there instead of just talking through Mu. He could just talk to himself.
Exactly.
That could work.
But then again, I for all I know, I don't even know what this Kabuto idea was. For all I know, it's one of the ones where we rewrite Madara being revived in the first place. So I don't even know what this was bouncing off of. It was February. So something 2 months ago.
Well, I think we definitely discussed this idea 2 months ago, just in general. Just Kabuto, like,
Yeah.
his role in the war, what he could have done, etc., etc. But either way, so okay, I think if that's the case, then we could also have Black Zetsu go to the Seven Ninja Swordsman, and specifically because he is like about Shinobi history or whatever. Technically, the story of Shinobi history started with Zabuza and Haku, and Kakashi in a way is sort of pointing that out as well.
Okay.
So that could work.
He could also bounce around too, if he
That
really
as
wants.
well. Yeah.
Has the ability to do that.
Where would White Zetsu go then? What's left?
So I hate to just default to this, but like Battlefield 2, just the one where the 100,000 White Zetsu mostly are anyway. Fights Neji.
I mean, this might be crazy. What if he just goes to Kimimaro's battlefield? Just for
Well,
the Kaguya
speaking of
reference.
Kimimaro, the next thing on here, I think we may have actually talked about this, but maybe not. This might have been something that bounced off of or before our movie rewrite. But Hakurama had two sons, one inheriting the eyes and the other the body, Uchiha and Senju. Hakurama had the Rinnegan, while Indra got the Sharingan, and as far as the body goes, that's just nothing specific, and we can make that cooler later on. Nobody knows what the hell Hammer is. We don't know. Nobody knows what the hell Nobody
Okay.
knows what the hell was Hammer's deal, but the Hyuga clan presumably came from him. So, why not let Hamura have two sons too? One inherits the eyes, and the other inherits the body. Hamura had the Tenseigan, Rinnegan equivalent here. One son inherits the Byakugan, Sharingan equivalent here. One son inherits Kimimaru's bones. Yes, Hamura has the bones. As we know, the Moon Clan had two branches fighting a civil war over Hamura's decree, much like the Uchiha versus Senju over Hagoromo's successor of Ninju. In this case, we have the Kaguya clan versus Hyuga/Munotsuki. Toneri would be a relic of the Kaguya clan on the moon for this rewrite. So yes, Toneri would have the bones in this rewrite, instantly making him 100 times cooler. This makes Toneri's interest in Hinata even more interesting, because although he may be twisting Hamura's ideology, he is quote-unquote bringing the Hyuga and Kaguya clans together via this marriage, much like Naruto and Sasuke at the end of Naruto, or similar to Madara bringing the Uchiha and Senju together when he implants Hashirama cells in himself. Just like Naruto and Sasuke in Naruto, rather than just wanting to bang Hinata because she's the hot Hyuga. Naruto can also relate to this dynamic because of his relationship with Sasuke, and that can be interesting with how he views Toneri. Furthermore, you needed to combine the Uchiha and Senju powers, specifically Indra and Ashura reincarnates, to awaken the Rinnegan. So, to awaken the Tenseigan, how about you need to combine the Kaguya clan and Hyuga clan's powers? In this case, to keep Hanabi shenanigans the same, instead of the Uchiha taking Senju DNA, Toneri, a Kaguya clan relic on the moon, takes the eyes of a Hyuga to awaken the Tenseigan. This would be the same idea as if Hashirama had put Madara's Sharingan in his eye sockets. Same idea. As far as the people on the moon shit goes with Munotsuki versus Hyuga, let's just write it so that Hamura started the clans on Earth, then moved to the moon to watch over Kaguya later on, and then half the Hyuga and Kaguya clans followed him while the other half stayed on Earth. So now they're just half and half. So, you know, either that or after Hamura already had his children and the clans were formed, half moved back to Earth while the other half stayed on the moon. Just make whichever way it is, just make that clear. Starting to get goofy here, but while we're at it, Toneri's just gonna look like Kimimaru too, because Kimimaru was the reincarnation of this guy, or vice versa. Thoughts?
So, that's a lot, first of all. A lot.
Yes.
So, I know Daigo hates the Naruto the last movie, but I thought it was pretty good for explaining Hamura as the other half of what happened, whereas the Naruto series explained Hagoromo, the last movie explained Hamura, and they didn't need to explain it because they just had that be the movie to be the explanation. That's all I wanted, whether the explanation was good or not. That being said, you can say the bones would make Toneri cooler, and I agree. But I personally like Toneri, and I understand everyone else might not like him, but I thought Toneri was pretty cool the way he was. But I'm not going to say I wouldn't like the bones. The bones would make him even cooler. I agree. That being said, the way I would do this is, based on this, I would have one of Hamura's son be one of the people that that Hinata like talks to in her weird genjutsu realm when she like confronts like all those Hyuga or whatever on the moon, whatever they were. I would just have that leader person be one of Hamura's sons. Maybe the other one. It would
just be like the Indra equivalent Hyuga guy, whoever that's just gonna be. Whoever Neji's the reincarnation of.
Okay, sure. You could have the other one either be the Asura path and just some other person. You could have it be Toneri's dad. You could have it be Toneri himself. You could have it be the creed that Toneri was following. Instead of Hamura, it was just Hamura's children, and they were following, like, the victor, whereas the loser is the one that talked to Hinata, and that was the right one narratively, even though they're the one that physically lost. So it's almost like the inverse of Earth in that regard, which goes with, like, yin and yang. And that also shows that no, the Naruto series wasn't saying one was better than the other, me. Since you want to think that so badly.
Well, Naruto the Last is also supporting that ideology that one is better than the other. But anyway,
okay, bro.
Regardless, you haven't really addressed whether or not you prefer. This is mostly everything I just wrote is just plot related things that lore basically that Naruto the Last would address. This wouldn't be in Naruto really. Maybe it's just vaguely mentioned, but it wouldn't be like the focus. In this case, it's like the focus. But just as a concept, do you like this?
I mean, it's just making what's essentially off-screen more specific and on-screen. but it's kind of basically already there in a way. Not really.
It's not. We don't even know whether Hamura has 2 sons or not. They definitely don't have the bones.
Well, not definitely, but
it seems like it.
But you're right. We don't know if Hamura had any children. We do know that Hamura had.
I'm surprised. I don't even want to talk about it anymore because you weren't fully on board like you should have been.
Oh my god. Well, maybe if you didn't sound like such a hater.
Should the Sound 4 have all use sound in their attack somehow?
Well, Tayuya just does. So she's in the clear.
Yeah, so you would have to change her in this case.
So
obviously you'd have to change people somehow. We'll get to that. Just the question is, do you think they should have all use sound? For example, Dosu's team,
we can
they
move
all
on
use
to
sound one way or another, but the Sound 4 just don't.
Yes, we can move on to how. So a lot of this should be pretty easy. Tayuya's already in the clear. Sakon and Ukon is probably the hardest. Maybe like some resonance of like a duality of a thing or something. Well, what's the weird instant? The trombone? It's not the trombone. It's the weird like triangle thing, but like it's the tuning fork. They could have like a tuning fork since there's like a Sakon Ukon, 2 of them. They sort of look like a tuning fork in a way. For Jugo, he could have like things on his wrists or like even like brass knuckles. They like hiss together. Jirobo, yeah, Jirobo. You know I confuse those two all the time. And then for Spider Boy, Kitamaro, it's his high velocity, high speed arrows can whiz, and the noise, the high pitched noise it makes is something.
Yeah, I figured you could do something there.
Okay. Thoughts on that? All those. Would you change any of those?
The hardest one's just going to be Jirobo and Sakon and Ukon.
Jirobo, I don't think it's that crazy, but Sakon and Ukon, I agree, but I think I came with something pretty cool.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how. It's like without having to rewrite their abilities entirely.
Maybe even vibrations could be Sakon Ukon's thing. They're just
I was thinking about a vibration thing, so that's like it would be the same as Dosu. But one thing I was thinking is if somehow, this is a hypothetical, this technically might be more like Jirobo, but not really. But hypothetically, if Sakon and Ukon did some sort of sound vibration thing that just made their punches stronger. I don't care what the sciencey explanation is. It's just something with sound that they're doing that just makes them vibrate and punch really hard, basically. It just makes their punches more powerful. Because basically all they're doing is taijutsu anyway. So like you just have really strong punches because of sound, and then they're doing their body shit to do, the things they do. But
okay.
I feel like there's like some sound drilling bullet jutsu thing in some anime. I don't know, like something somewhere.
I mean,
anyway,
definitely something somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. The problem is, like, it can't really have an effect because, as we saw with Lee, he was sort of down and out. Same with Choji. So, like, I don't know what you're gonna do.
Well, I was thinking it wouldn't be doing what Dosu does. So you wouldn't do the whole targeting the inner ear stuff. It would just be a thing to where, essentially, if you remove the sound explanation, so basically the idea there would be that it's just a strong punch. The sound is just what makes it a strong punch somehow.
Okay. Or
like
maybe
it's just imagine KCM fist. It's all it's doing. It's just being a strong punch. It's just somehow sound would be the explanation for how you get there.
I forget which Ben 10 alien this is. I think it's an Omniverse or something. But it's like this big yellow robot looking machine thing that has like a strong punch, but then it has like this reinforced punch thing because it's like a yellow like bulldozer looking, not bulldozer, but like one of those like construction equipment things. It's like a piston. It's like a piston punch kind of is what it is. So it has a strong punch, but then it has like a piston punch that like amplifies the punch somehow. It's cool. It could be like that. Like fortifies the punch even. Or I know how you could incorporate it. Okay. So like whenever you get like a tube and then you get like a circle that like perfectly fits the hose, and like the hose has one end cleared, and then you like push down on the cylinder into the hose. So it's like you're compressing the air inside, and you can't do it all the way because the air can only compress so much.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. You could also do something like that. Something with that pressure, with the sound. I feel like it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I just don't know what I would
Wall.
want from Jirobo, because I want him to be like this big, strong guy or whatever. I just don't know how I want to incorporate sound into that.
I still think mine was pretty easy. It's a very simple and
What was
basic
yours
one.
again?
Either brass knuckles or something on his wrist that he can like bash together or cling or something.
But what is it doing?
Maybe Jirobo can have the piston punch instead, or maybe it could be through that. I don't know. Maybe he could have the pressure thing. He's making a wall with a sound to do the air pressure or something. Maybe he can punch air through his sound. The vacuum fist, except not Kaguya. and not the vacuum fist.
I don't know, we have to think more on it. I just want to present the premise.
It sounds like you didn't like my idea, but fine.
Oh my god, there's so many, but I feel like we should end soon. So
Well, that's perfect, since I've had to go to the bathrooms.
okay,
Just like last
let's
time.
just call it good.
All right, good night, everybody.
Thank you for the bail.
Yeah.